And my last point to you, you do not sell your Bitcoin. Thank you.
I am in shock right now. Did you see this? Bitcoin right now is doing something bigger than the amount of disappointment your parents feel for giving birth to a moon boy. And with the Fed and Jerome Powell raising Magoo levels by 75 basis points, will the carnage stop, or has it just begun? And is this the first time in history that this has ever happened? Yes, and when I tell you what it means, you will want to kiss your grandma right on the lips. So put down your tissue, drive over to whatever prison daycare your grandma is living in, and give her a big fat sloppy passionate sensual kiss, because it's the very least she deserves for giving birth to the monsters that created you, a degenerate moon boy. I'm your host, Spuds McDoink, and is today the day we've been waiting for? Has Bitcoin bottomed? Everyone thinks the answer is no, but what if I told you something very big? To get into the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications to never miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. And as well, if you're interested in any trading bonuses, getting altcoins, anything like that, make sure to check out all the links below. As well, if you're interested in earning free Society and ADA rewards for the next 35 epochs, specifically for the Ape Society tokens, all you have to do is delegate to our pool below. It takes 2 to 3 minutes, stays in your wallet, absolutely no risk, if you're holding ADA. And without any further ado, let's dump in. Unbelievably big, as the entire planet was waiting for the FOMC meeting today to see what the rate hike would be, and the results came back as 75 basis points. This is very big for Bitcoin. And actually, just hours ago, Bitcoin was touching its tip as close to the $20,000 level as it has since it absolutely busted through it back many, many years ago at the very end of 2020. And what's so big about this is a million things. You know, is it possible at this point that Bitcoin has seen enough relief? Realistically, most people will tell you that until inflation begins decreasing, there's really not a chance that Bitcoin can have any sort of meaningful recovery. And as well, many people will tell you that until the next halving, there really is no hope for an uptrend to begin for Bitcoin. And at this very second, it looks as dumpy as it could be. And looking at any of these charts will tell you the same thing. I mean, if we go to the monthly chart as well, again, like we talked about yesterday, it finally looks as though over the next, or at least it looks as though we have finally seen enough dumping for this dump episode to resolve. This monthly chart is absolutely wild, and this chart actually does not go back that far. But on this chart, you know, it looks as though it's even possible that we even come down. And for the first time in history for Bitcoin, Ethereum has already done it, but for the first time in history for Bitcoin, actually break the all-time highs of the last bull cycle that we saw back in December of 2017. And basically what that should tell you, if that does in fact happen, at this very second, we are only about another 10% move to the downside away from that. And earlier today, we got a lot closer than that. We're about 5% away right now, and we got within less than 1% earlier today as we were bouncing right at about just a couple of dollars above 20,000. So what that should tell you is that all models, most models are broken. Most models were showing us that we wouldn't even get close to this. You know, whether you're talking about a lengthening cycle, whether you're talking about all of the fractals that you see posted on Twitter about 1,000 new ones per day because they're absolutely meaningless. Whatever you're looking at, all of those models would have told you that this would just not be possible. But it looks as though not only is it possible, I mean, still at this point, I do think it is very likely we could still see that move down below 20,000 until realistically the macro environment changes, and that hasn't happened yet. Until we see inflation change. But if you really want good Bitcoin analysis, then you really have to look basically outside of crypto. You have to look to see what the world is doing. You have to look to see, I mean, even the housing market. I think a lot of people are maybe not looking at to see how everything is doing, because basically right now, it's very unlikely that Bitcoin will complete a macro reversal until we see that start to change. However, one good thing is that I still believe we can see bounces and we can see nice moves to the upside despite this. And, you know, if you would look at the chart for the last 8 months, actually, you would see that we haven't really seen that at all. We did, I mean, to be fair, from the beginning of 2022 up until about the first 3 months of 2022, there was a 40% bounce from about the low 30s to the high 40s. Low $30,000 range to the high $40,000 range. But literally, aside from that, the Bitcoin market has been only dumping since the very beginning of November. So for a solid 8 months, Bitcoin has only dumped, aside from a few months of mostly sideways, but at the end of the day, a nice little multi-week rally to the upside where it got rejected at the 200-day and continued plummeting, where most recently we've gotten rejected at the 21-day moving average yet again, back at the very end of May, very beginning of June this month. But yeah, I mean, again, if you're looking for something like that, we've bottomed on the RSI. Even on the daily RSI, it's very low. But specifically, yes, the weekly, the monthly, all of it is just insanely like bottomed out, the lowest they've ever been. If we go actually to, again, the weekly chart, the weekly RSI is like the lowest it's ever been in recorded history. So again, you know, I still do think we have the chance of seeing some sort of bounce. Again, a lot of people are talking about June as being potentially a very bullish month, but not only has June not been bullish, it's been the dumpiest month in history. But what's good about this is we're literally getting to the point where there's potentially not even any more room to dump. For example, if we look at the crypto fear and greed index, we're in single digits, and we have been. Last month it was a 14, then a 17 last week. We had an 8 yesterday. Today a 7, as it got literally within less than 1% of breaching the all-time highs from 2017 for the first time again in history. It'll be very interesting to see how this update that happens in just a few hours unfolds as well. But again, before we get into these charts here, Fed announces the biggest interest rate hike in 28 years, and Bitcoin falls. Raise interest rates by 75 basis points, or 0.75%. It's the biggest hike in roughly 3 decades, okay, in an effort to bring down inflation that is destroying the economy. But they will raise to about 1.5 to 1.75% according to the Fed, and bond traders are pricing in a range of about 3.25 to 3.5 by the end of this year, implying a very rapid and harsh pace of monetary tightening. And realistically, this is going to continue. The unlimited money printing is what gave rise to the absolute bullishness in tech stocks and Bitcoin. And now we're basically just seeing the opposite of this. But the big question is, again, guys, how low? I find that so interesting because, again, losing money isn't fun. Seeing all this happen is not nearly as fun as just printing unlimited money and gains with crypto like we saw over the past few years. And especially because it was timed with the cryptocurrency bull market or bull run with the halving cycle that we usually see, right? But was that just a fluke? Again, because we only have a few halving cycles that have happened. It's not like we have 20 years. It's not like we even have 20 halving cycles. We literally have like 3 halving cycles to go on. And you also have the genesis, the creation of Bitcoin, which again, a lot of people would argue that wasn't really a cycle. But the reason I find that so interesting is because we've only have a few, and now we're on the potential. You know, what I think could be very interesting is that if we have a recession that might last a couple of years, a lot of people are expecting another bull run around 2023, 2024, going in line with the halving. So if that did not happen, where if we didn't get a bull run in line with the halving, or we were just in a very poor macroeconomic environment, then let's say we didn't get a bull run, that would literally destroy every model for Bitcoin. Because one thing big about this cycle is that most models were destroyed. Remember the stock to flow model. Nobody talks about that anymore because it was 1,000% wrong. And then every other model was basically smaller than that in terms of popularity, but all of those were wrong as well. Basically, the point is, at this point, and again, if it's like this forever, then Bitcoin failed in my opinion, but I don't think it will be like this forever. But if Bitcoin follows this forever, then really, how is it accomplishing its goal? And that's exactly, one of the reasons I think it can't if it wants to succeed. It literally can't, otherwise it failed. Anyway, why it's so interesting and what I think is most important about all of this is that we are so close to breaking, yet again, the idea that Bitcoin cannot go below a previous all-time high. And if it does, because this could happen literally any day, it could happen tonight. Again, last night, sure, many of you looked at the market, went to bed, and then you either watched it live or you woke up and saw it. But Bitcoin set a new low. This is the 3rd day in a row it set a new low in this market, right? Significantly. Actually, no, wait. This is actually like the 10th day in a row or 8th day in a row. It's been setting new lows every single day. So if it doesn't set a new low today, that's actually unusual. So, I mean, it wouldn't be crazy to expect another new low today until we actually put in a higher low and then begin seeing signs of reversal. Could that come at any moment? Yeah, absolutely. But at the middle, or at this very second, we're literally in the middle of the bloodshed. We're literally in the middle of this dump. You know, just because it's not dumping every single minute doesn't mean we aren't. We are dumping every single day. So again, until we see an actual bounce, expect more dumpiness. It's that simple. And as well, the DXY continues to show strength. So really, every single day is really important to be watching. This is very exciting. It's not exciting in the sense of like a bull market where you're just printing money, but it's very exciting because what we're looking for right now and what we have the opportunity to see is the very, very bottom of this market, or a game-changing, cycle-changing event where basically all Bitcoin analysis has been proven wrong. So buckle in, because every single day right now is honestly incredibly exciting if you understand what it means for cryptocurrency. So get a new channel, make sure to like, subscribe, turn those ghost notifications to never miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts as well. If you guys are interested in any deals or bonuses, make sure to check out all the links below. There's great bonuses for trading for US customers as well on BitGet, which is a new link we have below. But as well, if you're interested in earning free ADA, and also for the next 35 epochs, free Ape Society tokens, which are being distributed now. All you have to do is delegate to the pool. Right around 8 million delegations so far in our pool. The rewards are coming in hot this epoch, and then also next epoch should be even better. Very, very good, very consistent, especially also for normal ADA rewards. So really good rewards for both. You can check out the links below. Without any further ado,